Hey, this is Dude Daniels here, and this was an article from Yahoo.com, which I read over the weekend. The original article is by Leah Zerbe from relied.com, and it's titled 11 Reasons to Dump Processed Foods. And first, you got to understand what processed foods are, and it's pretty much anything that has a list of ingredients that was, processed in a was made in a process to pretty much preserve itself. So the, in that article, she lists out 11 reasons to get rid of processed foods, and we're going to read over them and kind of talk about them as it pertains to your health and improving the life of yourself and your family. First thing we're going to look at cereals. She says the facts, the breakfast bombshell. Residues of more than 70 pesticides have been found in individual boxes of cereal. And the reason is many pesticides today, particularly the go-to chemical applied to genetically engineered crops, are systematic. And what this simply means is chemicals wind up inside of your food and you're eating it. So the healthy tip that she says is beware of the natural cereals. Testing by Cornupia Institute found that natural cereals are often contaminated with crop pesticides, warehouse fumigation chemicals, and genetically modified ingredients or GMOs. So what she's requesting is that you choose organic if you really want to avoid toxic chemicals, and that's across the board, really. I mean, with your fruits, vegetables, anything. That's the main reason why you choose organic, is so that you can avoid having all the pesticides and all the other things that they lace on your foods in order for you to for them to preserve themselves. Shelf life is what it's really about. So we can make money, so we can let something sit on the shelf for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and that's number one. So you have to be conscious of that. Which brings us to number two: letting your kitchen go dormant in favor of relying on processed food could shave off years off your life. So you're talking about losing life here. In 2012, a study was published in the Journal of Public Health Nutrition found that people who cook at home at least 5 times a week were 47 times more likely to be alive after 10 years than people who relied on processed foods. So the tip here is to get your feet wet, cooking fresh foods, natural ingredients. Consider joining the vegetable community, supporting agriculture programs, farmers who share their recipes, cooking tips, and even other demonstrations will help you. So the idea is really to get out there, buy your natural foods, and then come home and cook them yourself so that you avoid living a shorter life because you're taking the shortcut. Short life. What's in the box? When you're talking about flavored noodle mixes, processed meat package, mac and cheese, soda, frozen dinners, other processed food, and fast foods, they're all very famous for containing questionable levels of phosphate-laden ingredients that can hurt your kidney and deteriorate your bones. And I've been saying that for at least 2 years now, and that's just me talking. So the healthy tip is if you're in a pinch or you rely on processed food, avoid the ones that say sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, and as she says, anything with the phos in it. Give it a break. Number three, you don't want to look like a bag of potato chips. And what that means is if you continue to eat processed foods, you can start to resemble the crinkle cut potato chips because research shows that phosphates and genetically engineered ingredients, GMOs, often add to your aging process. So instead of processed food, choose fare that actually promotes younger looking skin, including alkaline forming foods like kale, parsley, almonds, pears, lemons. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids such as pastured eggs, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, walnuts, cashews, that help hydrate your skin and reduce the amount of wrinkles. Tomatoes help fight damaging sunburn and reduce skin roughly and boost collagen. Now we know that that's something that sunburn, not something that some people have to worry about, but it's something that some of our Gentile friends have to deal with. But this is something that will help the aging process. When you eat a whole bunch of potato chips, you meet some of these young people. They tell you they're 25 and they look like they're in their 40s. I used to accredit it to cigarette smoking, but it's just based on processed foods. Turning the clock up faster on you. Eating processed foods will also empty out your wallet faster than you think, because it seems like they're cheaper, and sometimes they're cheaper when you see that little can or that little thing bag of chips, 25 cents. But processed food may seem like a deal in terms of convenience, but when you break down the cost, it's generally cheaper and way help you to have foods made from scratch. For instance, a popular brand microwave bowl of chili might cost you $3.39, but it includes harmful ingredients like bisphenol A, which is a fake food dye that industrial meat raised using antibiotics as well as questionable additives. So what you can do is you can make your own bowl of chili by going and getting your own beans, cooking them from scratch yourself. Go and get some farm raised, grass-fed beef, and putting together your own chili. Most of the things that I used to look at is when I went and bought the fake stuff, I would look at the ingredients or the methods. The main popular ingredients they would get, which is the beef, the beans. For chili, it was just the beef, the beans, the green peppers, and all the seasonings. You just go buy that stuff and you whip up your own. It's very much easier than going to get all these fake ingredients that's going to fakely save you money, and then of course spend your money in the back end when you have health problems. Processed food also can continue to make you more hungry. You already heard the potato chips. You can't eat just one. They come up with these phrases. They're catchy, but they're actually very true. Added sugar, specifically like fructose from table sugar and high fructose corn syrup found in processed food, they block a hormone signal that tells your brain that it's time to stop eating. And this is according to obesity research by Robert Lustig. He's an MD, a pediatric neuroendocrinologist at the University of California, San Francisco. The result, never-ending hunger that leaves you fatter and unsatisfied. The healthy tip, according to American Heart Association, the AHA, we take down about 22 teaspoons of sugar a day. That's 25 pounds more than people consume annually just a few decades ago. So watch out for surprising hidden sugar sources in your breads, crackers, bottled tea, frozen dinners, sauces. I just drank a nice tasting tea yesterday, and I looked on the back, 22 grams of sugar. There's sugar in everything, so to add sugar to any drink that you're having, or add sugar to anything that you're eating, like oatmeal, it's ridiculous. You can just actually pour milk into oatmeal and you're going to get some sugar from that. So you got to be watching for this sugar, because the sugar is really the biggest, deadly thing out there. It keeps you munching. I noticed that with a lot of people, they munch a lot because you got this high fructose corn syrup in your foods. So watch out for that. Industrial fats was the next thing here, and when you're looking at industrial fats, the fact is, since the low fat fad began, Americans have become fatter and sicker, which I've noticed. Now, one reason is the low fat dairy products are stripped of conjugated linoleic acid. And excuse me if I can't pronounce these things, because I'm not a doctor or a scientist. But a healthy fat shown to fight weight gain and cancer. So that's been stripped out of most of our dairy products, but however, it's very needed. And added sugar often takes the place of the fat, making you feel hungry and unsatisfied. So know your fats. Industrial fats like partially hydrogenated oils are dangerous. Every time I see that on a product, I normally put it down. Only way I can consume it if I don't read the label. But fat from organic, grass-fed animal products like yogurt actually benefit your heart and your brain. And this is one to definitely watch out for. The old paint over. People are doing this, of course, people that are getting older, grayer hair at such a younger age because of what they're eating. They're moving to dyeing their hair. So same thing they're doing with the food intake. So you have processed food, even pickles, cake mixes, and healthy juices that contain food dyes that make the food appear fresher than it really is. In essence, tricking you, the consumer. Some berry juices contain 0% fruit juice, relying solely on artificial colorant. So that's a problem. Some food dyes are tied to serious health problems like ADHD. You ever heard of that? asthma, allergies, and cancer. So the healthy tip is stick with organic foods, since organic standards ban the use of artificial food dyes. So organics are colored with food sources like turmeric and beets. Better yet, try your hand at making your own homemade pickles and other kitchen staples to avoid harmful additives. More about sugar. Added sugar is the not so sweet trick to the makers of processed food used to get you hooked. In 2005, Princeton researchers found that eating sugar triggers the release of opiates, neurotransmitters that light up your brain's pleasure center. Additive drugs like morphine and heroin stimulate those same pleasure pathways. That's a scary fact. After 21 days on a high sugar diet, you could start showing signs of withdrawal, chattering teeth, anxiety, depression when the sugar is taken away. So the healthy tip is don't replace a healthy breakfast like low sugar organic oatmeal with a sugary coffee. Eat a good breakfast. Well, the fact kids who eat fast food 2 or 3 times a week faces significantly higher risk of developing asthma, possibly due to the processed foods' ability to create inflammation in the body. The trans fat and sugar common in fast food menu items trigger inflammation and unhealthy conditions tied to asthma. So if you have children that have asthma, slowly take the fast food away. You don't have to do cold turkey, but maybe if you're doing it 3 times a week, find out how many times a week you're going to the fast food joint. Cut it down, nice and gradually until you're down to zero, and you can just go and buy the things that you're making, make it naturally. A lot of people don't understand, if you go ahead and eat some of these unhealthy things, if you at least make it natural, where you're making the whole process, that's good. Now, people are going to get mad at the work it takes because, of course, the convenience of fast food is that it's fast and it's already made for you. But think about what you're doing to your health. So the healthy tip is skip the drive-through, eat fruits and vegetables at least 3 times a week. A move that research found was associated with lower rates of asthma. What's the cure for asthma? What can I do for my kids' asthma? You just got a big dose of it right there. Eat processed food? If so, you're unknowingly participating in a huge experiment. To date, more than 80,000 chemicals have been approved for use in the United States. So many of them used in processed food. Unfortunately, only about 15% have been tested for long-term impact on human health. So most of it has been tested on, funny-looking guys like this guy. Hey, he looks like my science teacher. But anyway, cook like your great-grandmother used to. If an ingredient looks like it belongs in a science lab, avoid the product. Make a vow to visit your local farmer's market regularly to experiment with fresh ingredients, and then form a neighborhood cooking club, or just do it within your own household. Stick to it with everybody you're with, and get together with members. Whip up different bulk meals from the whole ingredients. Break the results down into smaller serving swaps and share for a fridge full of healthy options all week long without investing tons of time. That's a pretty good idea. What she is suggesting is that you get some people that you live around that agree with this, and y'all all cook meals so that you don't have to, because cooking takes some time, especially you're going to cook. Me, I cook all my meals, at least my dinner meals rather, and it takes stopping my work, stopping what I'm doing around 3-4 in the afternoon to prepare it for 5-6 o'clock. So there is, of course, that breakdown there of time, but you got to do it if you're trying to be concerned. So those are your 11 reasons to dump processed food. Processed food is anything that, when you read it, is made in a process to preserve it. Really, that's all it is. Also, all processed food is a process, and rather to preserve the food so that it lasts longer. And if you're doing that, or if you do that, then you're eating junk along with that, and you should definitely make a way to eat fresh. I remember there was a certain time I was eating really fresh. The grocer saw me every single day because I had to keep going back to the store to buy really fresh food, which I was eating a lot of vegetables and fruits at the time. But for people that are working every day and long hours, and you got families and kids, the kids are definitely an important reason. If you can set them on a path of eating good, even if they got to starve themselves for a little while, get them on a pattern of eating good, then they're going to grow up healthy. They're going to get rid of a lot of these health problems that they're probably developing just because of the so-called convenience of the world. So that's our health topic, and I hope it's been helpful. Excuse me, all the screens popping up. And you know, one thing I always recommend for everybody is to visit our website, youngevityproducts.org. Yeah, maybe I can spell it out. Youngevityproducts.org, and you can get vitamins and minerals, which is very important in the process of avoiding processed foods, to make sure you're still getting all the nutrients, because sometimes people go on diets, weight loss programs, and because they're taking in less food, they're not getting the nutrients that they need. So here you're going to get healthy nutrients from the Longevity products. I'd recommend starting with the Ultimate Classic or the 90 for Life, where you get all the products, all the nutrients you need: 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and over 16 minerals, which are the cofactors of making your vitamins absorbable in the body, and therefore you will get all your nutrients, and then you can eat in a healthy manner. Salads, protein from your beans, fruits, vegetables, and things of that nature. So God bless you. See you next time. Talk to you soon.